Hello and welcome everybody. It's Rose Smith here from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm here with the awesome Aquarius September horoscope, and there is a fair bit happening this month. Everybody's got a thing called the finger of God, which is a very creative spiritual force that's being directed into a certain area of your life, so I'll be talking about that. We've got Mercury going retrograde, and for you, that's in your 8th house of shared resources and intimacy, so do watch for miscommunications there. We've got Uranus going retrograde from the 22nd, I think it is, of the month until the 24th of January 2023. Now, that's quite a normal sort of thing. It's in the background. You probably won't notice it very much unless you're particularly psychic or sensitive. It is in your 4th house of home and family. So, you know, there could be unpredictable things happen there, or maybe something slows down to do with your house and family, your home and family, or these things become internalized. It's not so much what's happening out there, it's what's happening in here about home and family. Okay, so just to briefly explain what I do, I like to draw 2 tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you, and we'll have a look at your horoscope in depth. All right, if you're new, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell right now. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go to the board, and here's your horoscope. Let's see what the cards have to say. So you can think of it as the first card as being the first half of the month, if you like, and the second card being the second half of the month. Okay, so I'm closing my eyes now and close my eyes now. What do I see? Okay, I see this. Oh, this is weird. I see the sky with white clouds just sort of drifting across, lazily drifting across. There's no sort of bad weather or anything, but out of my mouth I was going to say I see the sun. So the sun is all about the source of all life, stability, comfort, security, safety, insight, awareness. Like, it's a fabulous energy. I didn't actually see that in the sky, but yet it was coming out of my mouth. So I suspect that it's coming, but it's not here yet. And so you might have the sense of things are going to get better. My health might improve. I'll have more energy. Or I'm going to have this new awareness and I'll understand, you know, how the world works, or something like that. So be patient. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen. All right, the card that comes up is the Hermit. This indicates that you need some time alone. You need to reflect on everything that's going on in your life. You are the light, okay? You bring the light forth into the world with your awareness, with your insight. So as you have insights going off in your head, then you can bring that out into the world in some way. Maybe you're here on YouTube like me, you know, and so you may well have, you know, things that come to you that you want to get out into the world. This is a wolf or a wolf dog, and I've actually met a wolf dog. I think it's probably safe to say that they've got a sort of unusual personality in that they're a one-person dog, and they pretty well ignore strangers. If you have a pet wolf dog, they're your dog. You're the leader of the pack, and they're really not interested in anybody else. And so they're intensely loyal. But spiritually, they also represent learning and teaching, and there's a wisdom there. And, you know, you might learn something now so that you can teach people later on. Both are on the top of a mountain, so it's a challenge to overcome, to get your message out there, but you can do it. It's a major arcana, so it's a fairly important card. Okay, so that's the first half of the month. Now, the second half of the month. Closing my eyes now, what do I see? Okay, stairs going up into an aircraft. Something's about to take off. This is like some ideas or some plans that you have. The aircraft is still loading, so again, it's that thing of be patient. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen. This aircraft is going to take off and fly high and take your ideas up high. You know, when you're in an aircraft, of course, you've got a bigger picture that you can see. You can't see the details, but you can see the big concepts, and you can see ahead of you. So it's almost like you've got the gift of the scenario, is what I call it. My husband's got this. He's not, well, sometimes he does show some psychic ability, but he's very good on the gift of the scenario, and that's like seeing what's going to happen, but not from a psychic perspective, just from a logical or analytical perspective. Okay, I want to take that one. Okay, the Ace of Cups. This is brand new beginnings in your emotions, how you feel about something. It's actually very quite a positive sort of card. You could have more energy. You could be more appreciative of beauty and realise there's more beauty around you than what you know. There's joy, there's love, there's peace coming to you. You could feel better physically as well, and it's like Spirit's handing you this gift. Yes, there might be some dark clouds in the background. Yes, that's true, but in yourself, you're feeling pretty good. Okay, all right, so that's the two cards, Aquarius. Now, let's make this bigger so you can see, and we're going to put this up here like this, and this way we can refer to them as we go along. Okay, so you'll see here the finger of God I was talking about. This is two aspects called quincunxes or inconjuncts, joined together by a sextile, not a septile, a sextile. That's different, that's a different angle. This here is called a focal point, and it's pointed to Venus in your 7th house of significant relationships, legalities, maybe open enemies, an open enemy is just somebody that you don't get on with, basically. So with all this energy of these planets here, Neptune and Pluto being directed to Venus, here, this is fabulous for your relationships, especially the long-term relationships, maybe the business partners as well, or your husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. Those very close people, okay? So there's some sort of transformation going on, and there's a spiritual component to it. And Venus is here in Leo, and so it's like amplified, because Leo is very generous and very expansive, and it's just a fabulous energy. There's also a T-square here with Saturn in your sign, Venus, and also Uranus here. So there's a bit of a push me, pull you sort of challenge between what you need for yourself, your time, your belief systems, your energy, that of significant relationships, and also home and family. So maybe what's your time management, or maybe it's like you can't give yourself enough attention, your family enough attention, or your partner enough attention. There's just not enough energy or not enough time. It's like you've got things to do. So there is a tense aspect, but you know what comes out of this? Through this challenge, there's usually a silver lining, and there could be some sort of ongoing reward afterwards, because Venus moves fairly quickly, so she only spends 3 or 4 weeks in each house. So she's actually going into the 8th house, which will break this T-square. So it won't be for very long. Mercury retrograde I talked about. Uranus retrograde I talked about as well in your 4th house. Now let's look at this in depth. 1st to the 5th, we've got Mercury trining Mars. This is fabulous for communicating your needs, especially those things that you really want, and you're likely to be quite sharp, clear and decisive now. You've got a lot of energy, you want to get stuff done, and also it's a time for attacking difficult problems where you work, even if it's not paid work, okay, you'll be quite successful probably. 3rd to the 28th, Venus moves into your 8th house, okay? So as I was saying. So it's only 3 days, this T-squared, and then Venus moves up here. And this is all about your shared resources, your business affairs. You could also meet a benefactor through friends or in some sort of social environment. If you're looking for financial backing, like a loan, that looks like it's going to go, that could go quite smoothly. Intimate relationships are intensified as either you or your partner want a deeper union. The 30th to the 16th, Jupiter opposition Mercury. You're likely to be quite talkative and optimistic. Jupiter's very philosophical as well, so you might take a bigger picture view of something and you see things from a broader perspective. That's up until the 10th, and then Mercury goes retrograde then, so you have to be careful of miscommunications. But it is before that time. It is a great time for attending business seminars, going to cultural events or functions. It's a great time for public speaking and advertising as well, because your ideas come across very well to the general public and people respond very positively. And anything to do with large-scale communications probably will go well. The 10th sees a full moon in Pisces, and it's actually in your second house, not... Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's in your second house. That's right. Yeah. Okay, so this is a time when things could get shaken up a little bit about your finances, maybe your personal belongings, or the things that you value, generally speaking. It's a time when you might spend money on an impulse rather than looking at, the practical value of it. So just watch for that, that you don't overspend. 13th to the 17th, Mercury trines Mars. Mercury is now retrograde in this time period. And so just be cautious. Anything important put in writing, because you don't want miscommunications. If you're traveling, because Mars is going to give you a fair degree of energy, you want to be moving about probably, and it's like you can't sit still, you want to do stuff. If you're traveling, allow extra time, because sometimes there's delays with travel with Mercury. 16th to the 21st, Mars sextiles Chiron, which is fabulous, gives you more energy. You've probably got a lot of inspiration now and you're feeling quite positive. You can probably think up really innovative solutions to problems and pioneer new approaches. It might be that anything to do with where there's an obstacle or a problem, you can come up with something really creative to solve that. And you might also become more interested in healing, whether that be emotional, spiritual or physical. 21st to the 23rd of October, the Sun moves into your 9th house up here, and it could be a fabulous time when you want to lift yourself out of your normal everyday life, and it's like you can see the future in a sense, and it's more exciting. That's what you want. You want more excitement in your life, more optimism and more positivity. There's a chance of broadening your life through travel, studying, or even reading about, foreign cultures or other countries. You could have more to do with people in other countries, in fact. And a teacher or a mentor might come into your life at this point as well. Then we have on the 25th, the new moon in Libra in your 8th house here. Here it is, bringing a new beginnings around intimacy. Something's rejuvenated. If you're in a long-standing relationship, you might find your sex life improves, or your love, the deepness of your relationship improves in some way, and it's just lovely. There might be some talks or discussions about jointly held assets, property, and you may tend to react the way that you always have in the past. So you've got a lot of new energy here, so maybe you can find a new way to react. Okay, you don't have to go back to past patterns, and your emotions are likely to be more intense. Practice patience at this time if you feel quite intense. 23rd to the 10th of October, Mercury retrograde in your 8th house actually adds to the tension, if you get the communications, muddled up or there's misunderstandings. Be especially careful with negotiations around money, investments, property. It's not a good time to buy a house at the moment or sign a contract. You can sign it if you want to, but no, there may be some change down the track. However, it is a great time to complete anything that you started, say, prior to around the 3rd of October. So anything before, 3rd of September. Anything before that, it's great for finishing stuff off. And there might be discussions about wills and inheritances and things like that as well. 25th of September to the 28th, Mercury retrograde trines Pluto, adding great depth to your conversations. Only issue here is people will probably tell you really personal, deep, secret things. Make sure that, those secrets don't get out, somehow, or that you don't misunderstand or they don't miscommunicate what they're trying to say. In fact, it's almost like anything superficial really doesn't appeal to you now. It's like you really want to get to the core of whatever the issue is. The 27th to the 22nd of October, Venus moves into your 9th house here, bringing a beautiful, smooth flowing energy, especially regarding foreign cultures, studying, whether that be off your own bat or a sort of more formal study through a university or a college or something like that. The exotic really appeals to you now, and you could be communicating about spiritual, religious or philosophical matters now. The 28th until the 5th of October, Mercury retrograde opposition Neptune. This is really not a good time to sign an agreement because it's just these two planets together. Neptune can often be associated with confusion or vagueness, or it's just like clouds in the sky, and they move one way, then they move the other way, and is it going to rain, is it going to be sunny? And you're likely to be swayed by your feelings rather than logic, but on the upside, your imagination is on fire, which is quite good. Now, the 10th to the 2nd of December, Saturn squares your MC. This is a fairly critical and important time for you. You might have to make a decision regarding your career. It could be quite an important decision, like something like, am I going to retire? Or am I going to leave this job and go and take another job that really fulfills my heart's desires more than, what I've been doing? So it does become quite apparent to you that some of the things you've been doing are coming to a dead end, really. You can see down the road almost. Remember I was saying about taking the big picture view? It's like you can see it's coming to a dead end. And so you have to decide what goals, are worth keeping and what are worth, cutting off. There could be a level of frustration or impatience in this decision-making process, and there could be power struggles with other people. So just be patient. This time will pass, but out of it is going to come something quite extraordinary and quite impactful on your life. So this is fairly major these times. So I would say don't rush. Take your time, because it is important. Take your time, because it's the direction of your life. If you're not working, it just means the direction of your life is going to change. Maybe you think about going to another country or something, especially with all this activity here in your 9th house. That might be on the cards. Whether you live there or stay there for a while, I don't know. But yeah, there's something major here in the wings, basically. And also with this, avoid, because it's Saturn squaring your MC, Saturn can be like an authoritarian type energy, and sometimes that comes through people. And so do avoid associations with people who try to dominate you or restrict you in some way. Even if they don't do it now, can you see the red flags? Are there any red flags that they might do that later? Okay, so do watch that. 29th to the 5th, Mars trines Saturn, which this is fabulous because it'll give you excellent concentration and you become more serious about your work. And it's like you want to focus on real accomplishments, okay? You can get a lot done. You can tackle difficult tasks. Quick, come around to my place. Self-control and self-discipline are really sort of on fire here, helping you a lot. And so you're likely to have positive results in the long run. Around the same time, though, from the 12th to the 1st of December, we have our old friend Saturn squaring Uranus again, who's been around for a few years on and off. Now had I don't know, 3 or 4 hits, I can't remember. But this is difficult because it's like throwing a wet blanket over your best ideas. So you could be feeling limited or restricted in some way. Here we have Uranus here. It could be in your home life, perhaps. And where's Saturn? Saturn here in your sign. So there might be a feeling of internal frustration because it's between your desires and what you want to do and your identity and how you want to approach the world, and Uranus here in your 4th house of home and family holding you back in some way. Maybe you do want to go to another country, but your home or your family is the reason for you to stay where you are. You know, so these are the things you have to work out. There's no easy answer here, but this will pass, so be patient. It's important not to engage in reckless behaviour here because Saturn doesn't like it. So, yeah, make sure you do everything above board. And just be patient, take a few deep breaths, and just let that energy flow through you, and Spirit will take care of it and find the balance for you. Massage would help, exercise, stretching, spending time in nature, okay, and just allowing yourself to breathe in the energies of both Saturn and Uranus and focus on both of them becoming friends. Because their energies are almost opposite. So, but it's that opposition that actually makes the sort of alchemical kind of process that results in transformation and boosts you to a higher level. Okay, so that's it. I hope this helps you. Awesome Aquarius. Thank you so much for watching today, and if you're new, subscribe and be alive and hit that notification bell. Okay, leave a comment or a like or share on your socials. That would be fabulous. Thanks so much, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website absolutesoulsecrets.com for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.